The sky grew dark across the valley as the clouds rolled in over the mountains that surrounded, and then the mist turned to fog. There was a strangeness about, and I had sensed something that I had not experienced before. The candles were lit and a fire burned in a stone fireplace. I went inside my dwelling and I sat down by the fire and I took a sip of mead. I had learned the art of brewing mead not too long ago, and I had found that apples and raisins made for a stout and hearty brew. Watching the fire dance and leap about and hearing the crackle of the flames gave a relaxing feeling. And I looked about at the carvings of Odin, Thor, and other gods and goddesses of Asatru. It gave an eerie presence. As the light of the fire flickered off of Odin as he gazed one-eyed, holding his spear and watching all. With swords and spears on the walls and in their racks, I could have been somewhere in the past in ancient Scandia. I feel secure when I'm with things I know best, and my world of ancient weapons and armor is my place. I thought about times gone past when Viking warriors pulled on long oars and felt the roll of their sturdy ship beneath them as they rowed out across the sea to distant shores. The feel of a good sword in hand is a feeling that few men today will ever know. A sword whose ring is as pure as a Valkyrie's song, forged in the name of the sword god and blessed by the god of war. Steel hammered hot and tempered in oil and endowed with a spirit from the land of my ancestors. I could see the Northland in winter and feel the snow underfoot. I thought of how it must have been, sharing roast boar with friends, and sipping ancient mead from the silvered horn made for some Nordic king. Then I was riding an Icelandic pony in the snow and seeing the beauty of a northern spring when flowers start to bloom. I settled in my chair by the fire as the evening grew dark. Another sip of mead, then I began to doze. I thought of Odin. I thought of the ravens and the eagle. I thought of the eight-legged steed Sleipnir. And then I was there flying with Odin's ravens, high over Midgard. There a world untouched by modern man and his nothingness, untouched by man's unhappiness and greed. Then I felt a hand on my shoulder, and I knew that All-Father was there with me. Odin, my God, had blessed me with a glimpse into the past. Green forests and lakes of blue water, an ancient village and a great hall. Huge doors opened, and inside a long table with benches on both sides, filled with feasting warriors, clad in mail shirts, drinking from great horns and telling of great deeds of valor. The smell of an oak fire and Valkyries filling the drinking horns of heroes. Then someone broke into song. Ancient instruments played a tune I had never heard before. I felt whole and I felt wanted. A young, fiery-eyed figure pushed a horn of meat into my hand, and I began to sing in a language I didn't know. A song that I didn't know passed my lips, and my heart beat like a drum. Warriors singing and toasting friends and glorious times in battle. Cheers and shouts of comradeship that you only read about in saga. The warmth of belonging and being a part of a band of warriors of Viking times. Something different, and I felt like never before. I was dressed as all others in mail shirt and girded with sword, and I was in my place at the great feasting table, and then I saw a figure stand in the distance at the far end of the great hall. Hail Odin, the cry rang out. Hail Odin, shouted the hosts gathered for the feast. Hail Odin, I cried, and we all toasted the All-Father, and Valkyries sang a song so pure and fine that no words could describe that glorious sound. Then I opened my eyes, and I was sitting in my chair by my lonesome fire, there in my tiny house, surrounded by all my ancient wares, being watched by my wooden carvings of all the gods. And I was wearing a mail shirt and holding a horn of mead. I turned and looked at the statue of Odin, and in just an instant I could swear that I saw Odin's rune-carved spear glowing, and I could swear I saw a twinkle in Odin's eye. I can't say for certain if I had dreamed the whole affair, or whether or not by some trick of time and dimension I had found that doorway into another world, but this I can tell you for sure. Some day I shall return to that doorway that leads to Odin's hall, and then I shall once again eat of the boar and toast a sacred mead in the name of he who we know as the god of the spear. Then once again I will be with my kin, Odin's folk. Hail Odin!